Thanks for staying with us. So, our guest is here. Last week, we discussed the ban on the usage and distribution of styrofoam and other single-use plastics by Lagos State government. The Lagos State governor has announced since then that he's extended to 3 weeks for the enforcement of the ban. Joining us on the show is the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources in Lagos, Honorable Tokunbo Wahab, to shed more light on this. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. So we see you've been very hardworking, up and down. We're seeing you
very proud of
saying Styrofoam is gone now. Just like President said, something is gone now. So, and the governor went back to say, look, let's give it a 3-week extension. But let's start from the beginning. Styrofoam. We all know all the issues surrounding its usage and the harm it has on society. But what happened with the sudden pronouncement? What exactly did you see that caused you to say it's banned almost immediately?
Okay, thank you. Morayo, this conversation had been on since 2021. It was approved by the National Environmental Council. And we said, let us give a window to engage, like a moratorium.
Okay.
So this conversation on the ban had been on since 2021, October. And it was agreed that by 2024, we must take the bold step. And Lagos took the memo to the National Environmental Council. It was our memo, and we justified it, and it was approved in Abuja. So if we had done that since 2021, why are we going to be pussyfooting on the enforcement? And with each passing day, the destruction of the ecosystem is beyond imagination. The destruction of the aquatic life, the health implication. So it's as though we are pushing the doomsday and we are kicking the can down. So for those that are saying, why it's not sudden, it's been on. And with each delay, we are getting involved, we're getting so messed up in our environment, in our health, and our aquatic life.
May I ask the forum where you had this conversation?
It was National Environmental Council.
And but who did you tell?
No, so
Nigerians are not here.
Did you discuss with the stakeholders, the manufacturers,
Good
the
question.
people doing the businesses? Were they carried along in this
Good
conversation?
question. They've been having this conversation since 2021.
Okay. With who?
With the manufacturers, with the users, with the distributors across the states. Now, let me also break it down. You see, we need to make a choice between the interest of 22 million population of Lagos, coastal states, aquatic states, and then the interest of very few business people that want to make profit. How about the health implication? There's styrene in styrofoam. It's a major causal effect for cancer. Now, this is on the health ground. I'm not even talking about the environmental degradation, because styrofoam are non-elements. And the question again is, why are we saying it's a sudden enforcement when since 2021 it's been banned? Are you aware Abia State had banned it 2 days ago, following Lagos?
Yes. So
Abia banned it because the implications are the same.
Yeah.
But for us, it's even much more because, okay, I'll give you a practical example. New Delhi is the food capital, street food capital of the world. 33 million people, they're always sitting on the streets. They banned it. And why did they ban it? The same reason we are saying here. And I thank the governor. I thank the deputy governor. I thank the 40 members of the House of Assembly led by the Speaker. Leadership is not a tea party. Very tough decisions must be taken.
very cerebral decisions also.
And look at Lagos. Are you proud of what you're saying? For 500 years, this thing will be in the system. 500 years.
Let me let Nima jump in.
Yes, so I'm surprised that you said since 2021. And
October.
Because the major objectors of this are the people who have invested money in importing it or producing it. They are the ones saying, so what do you want us to do with our money? So what measures have you can you say are being implemented to ensure a smooth transition to move away from this styrofoam and single-use plastics?
Very good. in the immediate, styrofoam is our major target. The other single-use plastics like cutleries, cups are going to come in within the moratorium period or maybe 6 months. But for styrofoam, we are going immediate because we've done the study. We've seen that we can't even delay or prosecute on the enforcement beyond 3 weeks. And the 3 weeks is to mop up those that are in the system.
Already.
Now, for those that are saying, what are we going to do with the product? There was an agreement. There's what I call the EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. How many of them had taken steps to implement it? And by that EPR, you meant to mop up this from the system. That was part of the moratorium agreement. But none of them.
So how would the mopping up be?
Now, once you sell, you know where you sell to. And you go back and cut them away. And then you also invest in the environment. By our records, about 12 or 13 producers in Lagos. Most of them are outside the state production. In Delta, Asaba, we've done our study, and they bring them to Lagos to sell. And we've said to ourselves, should we allow this continue? You have a right to say you want to eat with styrofoam. You have a right to say you want to make profit as a manufacturer. But you can't use that to override the interest of 22 million Lagosians.
The greater good.
It's for the greater good. And that is the choice we have to make. That's the choice about public good. And let me also break this down. Countries where they have banned them, like in Germany, in Belgium, in France, those countries have better technologies. In the US, where like 11 states have banned them, they have greater technology. If these products are recyclable, they won't have banned them. But they know the implication. We just came back to Prop 28 with a huge delegation from Nigeria, and we made commitments. This is the first thing we have to do to our environment to save it.
Doesn't look good at all.
It's not even about the optics. It's about the bigger implication. And we are still saying to the manufacturers, we've been in the window of 3 weeks. We've been on this convention for about 2 years plus, and we can't continue to prosecute. The longer it takes us, the worse we become. Look at the amount of taxpayers' fund that goes into fixing the drainages.
So, like, I hear you, and I'm saying, I'll take the financial question. So, one, last time we discussed it, when we discussed it last week when the news broke, my comment was to break down to people how not using styrofoam, for those that are feeling like, what we used to eat, how it is saving them money and how they can start patronizing alternatives. But you just mentioned another economic impact, which is that the government is saving money that would cost us to be clearing villages and emptying out styrofoam.
And fixing our health.
And fixing our health. We are saving that money. Have you thought about the economic, are you thinking about how this would affect the taxpayers? These are people that are in Lagos State, whose business evolves around the Lagos Island woman that collects from the manufacturers and resells. Is this 3 weeks enough? Have we done enough sensitization through the Iyalojas to get them to understand that, okay, well, you stop selling this styrofoam or start selling plastic or start selling coolers? Was there that level of engagement with the middlemen that are trading and making money from this?
Who's going to refund those women who have paid? They've already stocked up on this.
Good question. That's why we gave the window of 3 weeks. And we also said to man, when they came for the meeting, that let us even know what you have stocked
the value.
up. And the value of what you have stocked up. Whatever is not measured doesn't get done. So we said to them, let us know what you have in stock, objectively. Then we can assess. That's why we gave the 3 weeks window. We are not enforcing. Okay. We're just doing strong advocacy. And the advocacy we are doing involves those distributors, involves the retailers, and those that are using them to hawk food. And they are seeing the reasons. It's a bigger picture. Is this the economy of a man that wants to do his business and make money? But how about the bigger picture for the states? The states, the 22 million citizens, trumps that minor commercial interest. It's a tough one, but we have to do it. If for 2 years plus we've been pussyfooting, and with each passing day, it's getting worse.
Let me come in for a question, because I worry if government is saying I've been engaging you since October 2021. Between that time and this time, you're saying you've spoken with the manufacturers, then who is monitoring to ensure they didn't bring this into Lagos? They're like, because there are other products you're going to ban in the coming months from what you're saying. So what kind of system is put in place to ensure that we're not having this sudden shock that we get, that the system experiences? Well, it's done in phases where people know that, okay, well, I have to stop this thing, I can't produce it, I can't sell it to Lagos, I can't do this. How is it being done? What system is in place?
Mariah, the truth about our people is, if you like, give them 10 years moratorium. We are who we are. The average Nigerian believes government cannot do it. We are not disciplined. We believe we can do some things and get away with them. And you can't do the same thing, same way, and expect a different result. That's, pardon my language, madness.
But you know, there's a way you can catch us. Since we're peculiar.
Yes.
Because now, with this conversation you say you've been having, we can't hold it. It's not tangible because we did not see it. It was not in our faces. But the ban was not covered. The ban would be in our faces because then it affects everybody. So going forward, yes, a lot of people do parties now. They carry these things home. We know this. Take away. So going forward, especially for the other products that you will be, taking out of the market very soon, is there any way that we can begin large sensitization of the people? It could be through the media platforms, jingles in local languages that this is bad for your health, we're taking this out so time, so that it's in the public space. Everybody's educated. Don't buy this, or go and get your cooler from home to buy the food. It becomes something that we are used to before the ban now comes. It's also a way to hold Nigerians to say, but we started this now. You have been watching, you've been hearing on the radio. We know that a day was coming like this. Is it possible?
That has been ongoing. And that will not stop.
You.
That has been ongoing. I can assure you it's been ongoing on radio stations, and it will not stop. Okay. We are ready to do it for the next 2-3 years, if need be. But the truth is, if we don't take this step, we'll still have to take it someday.
Yeah, true.
But it's like you have, pardon my language, you have cancer. The earlier you diagnosed and you start the treatment, the better. That's the situation we find ourselves.
I remember as a 17-year-old on the Lagos Island at night, buying foods in nylon bags. And so I saw the story break that alternative to styrofoam, now marketers, food sellers have moved to using nylon bags. So we'll buy pap during our way in nylon bags and break our fast by the Moshalashi Jimo and move on to buy my market before I go back to last day. So what are you doing? Is nylon bag a safe alternative?
No, not at all. Recyclable ones. Not all of them. They are recyclable, biodegradable nylons. We are going to. They are alternatives. Oh. And they know. So what we're saying is, we'll give you the window to transit. Okay. We'll give you technical assistance to help you. Loma will be fully involved in that engagement. And then...
The market women?
Yes.
Food sellers?
Fully. Loma, as I speak, is in the market. We've told them no enforcement, just keep enlightening them, start telling them why they have to transit to this. And that's what you just heard, that they are transiting. Now, are we saying, as a state, we can't take our decisions? No.
Yes, we can.
We can.
I have been in the environment for about 4 months plus. When I look at the budget and the amount we use to evacuate, it breaks my heart. And half of those things are these products.
Man-made.
Man-made. Look, waste management itself is a form of habit. We are going to build up that habit to let people see why they have to manage their waste properly. But what we have to do as a government, the policies we have to implement, let us also implement them. Let us be seen to be serious as a mega city that we are.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We still have the Honorable Commissioner here with us. I have 2 questions for you from Mr. Taiwo Adewale. He says, morning. My question for Honorable Commissioner is, what is happening to the Lagos State waste plastic policy that has been waiting approval from the House of Assembly and Governor's consent? That's 1. 2, for the styrofoam recycling, we have recyclers who collect for recycling. Can styrofoam be recycled? But the major challenge is logistics. If I'm able to collect all in Badagry, how do I transport them to the facility in Ibutemeta? So he's talking about logistics of recycling. I'm not even sure styrofoam can be recycled.
Taiwo, you can't recycle styrofoams. Let's answer that straight. For the first question, it's still ongoing, and I believe sometime this year we should have it closed.
Okay, that's
But for styrofoam, you can't recycle styrofoam.
But all of the other recyclable ones, because let's go into recycling for a second. Plastic is another major problem, bottles and all that. People are collecting and trying to recycle. How is that? Is there a system in Lagos to
Now, you see,
enable that?
we're having an ongoing conversation on our waste management. And I believe in the next few weeks, max by end of February, we should have a closure. The closure is to get a proper company that will handle our waste treatment.
Okay.
Once that is done, then we can have this conversation properly. Because there are values you can get from plastics. You can recycle some of them. Those that are organic, you can make them organic fertilizers. We've had that conversation. We've seen it done in a neighboring country.
Okay.
I want to replicate it here. So I believe in the next few weeks, we should have it. We should have them on ground in Lagos.
So go ahead.
So we have the Lagos State support on recyclers in Lagos. And we know there are businesses, you know, around Lagos already. Along that Alimosho area, you see them picking bottles. They tell that it's very profitable, that area of business. And yet we have the ministry dealing with this. Are you dealing with, you know, the piles of waste where they pick from first so that they don't recycle and create more of this that you're talking about?
Now, you're talking about two different questions. Now, to even recycle, you need to be endorsed and approved by the ministry. So the ministry have done that. We give you a site where you can use. The one in Lalimosho, I think we gave to a company from the UK. I remember. Now, if you go to Olusosun, you find them, you have small companies working around there. But now we want to have a collapsed system, fully organized. And I'll tell you why. Well, Lagos is spending so much on these dump sites. But Lagos is not making anything out of those dump sites. It should not be that. It's as though we're just taking money to manage the dump sites. But with the structure we're trying to put in place, Lagos will get value from waste.
Okay.
The composite waste, the organic waste, we say to them, okay, if you take these plastics and you make them disposable or waste disposal bins, then we'll give our citizens. Then we'll start talking about the culture of waste management from that angle. Then the organic waste becomes your fertilizer. It's been done in the neighboring country. Okay. We are engaging them fully to see how we can replicate that in Lagos.
Let me take Doyin. Good morning, Doyin. Thanks for calling. You're live.
My name is Toyin.
Oh, Toyin. I do apologize. Toyin, go ahead, please.
Yes. First and foremost, I want to thank the Honorable Commissioner for the job that he's doing. And I want to bring to the notice of the public that truly the government has initiated ban on all this material about 2 years ago. In fact, I on my page have published it severally. May I also drop here that I do not beyond Styrofoam, even the pure water packet. I'm an industrial company with emphasis on plastic pollution. If I tell you the danger on those things, you will run away when you see one. So that is why we need to support the state government heavily. And for me, when you look at the economic, I've been on my page, I've posted a lot. The private organization need to come and rescue.
All right.
Thank
you very much, Toyin, for your comments.
So,
you see, no vex.
Okay.
He said pure water. Are you banning pure water?
We still get there.
No, we have to prepare our mind. We have to prepare Nigerians. Pure water is a major factor in our lives.
Styrofoam, we're doing that immediately.
Okay.
For the other non-biodegradable elements, we'll give them a window to phase them out. And then we'll start encouraging them to use plastics.
That's English. So pure water, for example, now,
It's
just in case. Yeah, we know it's not biodegradable. Degradable.
Yes.
Now, what are the options that Nigerians that are cheap, equally cheap for Nigerians to use?
Now, that's why I said we're going to encourage them to use plastics. There are plastics that you can refill your water.
Exactly.
Carry your water.
Well, growing up,
Dispensers.
we go around with these things.
You mean dispensers?
Water dispensers too. We go around with these things growing up. We need to make a choice between our environment, our health, and
what is convenient for us.
What is convenient for some of us.
What is the purchasing power of our larger population? Because this pure water...
It's not dispenser thing you're talking about with the machine, no. The dispenser without the machine. You can have the bottle itself. Carry it without the dispenser machine.
I'm coming. I hear all of that. You know, when we sit down and talk, my mind is with those who I know might not be able to do this switch.
But they switched to pure water.
Pure water is already expensive as it is.
There was a time
They
it
don't
did not
have
exist.
an alternative.
Thank you,
It's why they buy it. Even when it was
We
not
were
existing,
carrying
we were
water,
tying
but it was
nylon.
ice water.
Then there was water corporation. We will go to a particular place where water corporation was opening
fetch.
tap and be fetching bottles.
Let us save the money for
I had
cleaning.
one blue bucket in Ibadan State. Then I used to go and fetch our water that we would drink. We will buy the water from water tank. So are those the options that you will leave Nigerians with?
Now, water
if you take out
corporation-
pure water.
I can say to you, is coming back fully.
Nice.
The chassis water.
Lagos is
No, I'm
big.
coming.
No?
I'm coming.
Channeling.
No, we're working on our water corporation.
Okay.
And we're doing them in bits and pieces. Because what we met, and I want to say, the appointment of Engineer Mukhtar Tijani had really given new life to the place.
Okay.
So we've done a Besson. The chassis is coming up this month or next month.
Okay.
Then hopefully the major ones are the ones we have at Tiju. Before the end of the year, we should have them fully ramped up.
Okay.
This requires a lot of money. And that's why I'm saying again, the money we're spending
Cleaning up.
to clean up can be used for other
Channel
options.
other things.
You have to draw your opportunity cost in economics and say to yourself, this is my scale of preference. These are my priorities. Health, environment, trumps what some few businessmen and some people that want to use styrofoam to eat. You can use it. But you can't use it in Lagos.
So let me ask. We know we are peculiar people.
Because we want to be peculiar.
We want to be. And
And that's why when we
after-
travel,
we change.
We behave from the other side.
Yes.
And come back
On
here
our
and
way
settle
back, when we get here, we
peculiarity.
start
Yes, from the
misbehaving.
airport, yes. So I know that after the ban takes effect, because we're peculiar people, some people will still use their strong head and smuggle these plastics or the styrofoam in, right? Is there any plan? What do you foresee that happening, and what plans do you have to stop them?
We will allow the law to take its course, I can assure you. And we will not cherry pick that enforcement. We will not also clamp down in a very indecent way.
Okay.
But the enforcement will start in about 2 weeks' time. What we do in the interim is let the engagement continue.
Okay.
We're going to meet, we have met with MAN, we've met with restaurant owners, we're going to meet with NECA by next week and some of the other stakeholders. And we're going to stand and tell them why we are doing it. If this moratorium had been on for about 2 years and none of the producers had even been responsible to the environment, then why should the government fold its hands and not say this is health, environment, and the aquatic life? This is a coastal state. You need to go on the I don't go on the water, but I have videos of people that go on the water. It's heart-wrenching.
It's a nice one.
So let us face it. Let us address it. If you don't address it today, you're going to address it someday.
So would there be people going to prisons, arrests?
Let the law take its
The law
course
will
now.
take
Let's
its
do
full
it. Let's do
I
it.
just want
Yeah.
to, so that Nigerians are prepared.
The enforcement will be done the way the law allows us to do it.
So go and read the
Okay,
law.
so
And that's why those manufacturers also, we are going to engage them. We are still engaging them. In fairness to man, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, they said yes, they know. They've been begging for this moratorium for years. They want more. We can't give you more window than what we're giving you for over 2 years. We had a meeting with them. We can't. The longer it takes, the health implication, the environmental implication is something we can't quantify.
Yeah.
And Lagos is Lagos. This is Lagos. That's what we're telling ourselves.
All right.
Okay, so I want to go to the, you mentioned a few people that the engagement has touched, but the engagement did not touch the Ewagoin seller that is at our junction, the rice and beans seller, that those people that are selling in front of their houses or in front of a school or in front of all those places. And I am scared of how the implementation will go, where they will pour the rice and pour everything because they are using styrofoam. And we cannot afford that because people are indeed struggling. And I recollect the last enforcement that we frowned upon here, where people's tomatoes and people's yams were all scattered. They are back there, by the way. But let's just say that.
They're not back there. They're not there. Nigerians.
If we drive past the same
No, they're not there. They clear the ones on the right. They've now moved to the left where they are paying properly. That's where Yellow is and his people. Don't go back there. Black Koba.
So we have scattered their business at that time. Many of them went into debts, and we don't want that to happen to majority. And I know, at least I know 5 that they are single mothers, and this is how they feed themselves with those foods. I don't want us to find ourselves in that situation. So how do we want to implement with the grassroots people, not the man, not the super...
Okay, Tope, I'll be honest with you, the advocacy will continue, and the engagement will continue. Okay. We'll keep engaging them. We'll keep telling the community leaders, the CDAs, the CDCs, the market women, why we're banning, and then why they have to switch to the option. Growing up, you go and buy your ewa going from it with a plate from your house.
Yeah.
What happened?
And so can we go there? I want you to commit that they will not scatter their food. They'll just collect the styrofoam from
be rest
them.
assured. No, be rest. That's why I said the engagement will continue. Be rest assured they won't do that.
Okay.
Look, there's a human face.
So you want to cancel
Please
take away?
collect the video.
You want to cancel take away?
It's already cancelled.
This one that we are going with our plate, take away is that you come here, you
Plastic,
take away.
take plastic.
If you have the biodegradable one, take it away. You can go and buy with it. But this styrofoam,
So the big guys, you say you're engaging restaurants, because I know if you came out to say,
Bring your plates.
bring your plates, and they're stocked up already. Now, maybe they could be scapegoats, because when we started seeing you shutting down some of these big guys, but of the big guys, how responsive have they been so far? To
very
this
responsive. Very, very. And I think they've been expecting it.
Okay.
Chicken Republic came out and endorsed it, that they've been on this for a while.
Okay.
And I know most of them have been supportive of it. You see, even at that, Morayo, what is the population vis-a-vis 22 million people that we're trying to save their lives? I'm not saying people don't have a choice to make. You do have a choice to make. You have a choice to say, I want to go and use this to buy food. But mine is, don't use styrofoam in the States.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to let this thing go down to the grassroots. You see, it's easier for people to say, that woman selling there were going. That woman had been there, like the Elewa Chapon. She's been there forever. What was the modus of using to sell? At the beginning. What changed? It's the convenience. I'm in a hurry, I want to quickly buy and go and eat somewhere. When you buy and go and eat, where do you throw that package?
Where is the somewhere?
You know those people in opposite Mosholashi in Lagos Island? Just sweet potato.
Yes, now.
No,
Roasted yam.
Roasted yam, but potato.
Those potatoes were also sold in papers.
Next
the newspapers.
They used to sell in papers.
There's a woman
newspapers.
orange.
It's degradable.
Orange and red by one in styrofoam. Man.
You use plastic.
Carry up.
But you know, see, the point
my
the
point.
one
No, thank you that you are bringing
and the
it.
point I was making, when you go to the market, I went to the market to go. I didn't go and carry plates. I went to the market to go and
feel
buy.
hungry.
So I was now hungry.
Then eat
now
there.
brush. The styrofoam they will give me to beat them.
No, they'll give you, in fact, they'll give you China plates.
Yes, to eat. Eat there.
Eat
No, I don't
or
want
you use
to-
some
I don't want to
plates.
eat those
When you
plates.
finish,
And
you
other
drop,
people are eating that place.
the water that they are using to
are
wash the
changing
plate is why
as
we
a
are
people.
using,
No,
why we trust styrofoam.
Carry your cooler.
We eat Ghana high now, and we eat Mama Eba.
Yes,
I eat
1K
Mama
and
Eba
all
now.
that.
The
there.
water,
And I eat Mama Eba,
coffee.
I will go and
See,
eat
you
Mama
know
Eba. They used to
cookers,
cook it, nko?
is the water, when you pass where they are washing plates, you will choose take away. That's the
Exactly.
point.
But the water
So
they
the
used to
enforcement
cook
is
will
like,
change as
my
a
point
people.
is that I'm trying to ask the
Sorry, Jerry,
question,
Nima,
so
go
that
ahead.
it doesn't turn out to be like the Okada ban. What are you going to do? How are you going to encourage Nigerians to, on their own, reject this?
That is where the advocacy.
So that you don't meet me. I've already bought. I leave the woman.
That is where the advocacy
Yes.
comes in and is continuous. That is where the engagement comes in and is continuous. That's why we need to do a culture reorientation.
Very important.
Look, we've been on this for a while, and I will say to everybody, I see no reason why a reasonable person wakes up in the morning, goes to the middle of the road to throw down his waste.
As in...
It's heartbreaking. I see
Now,
it every
I see
time.
no reason why people wake up in the morning, you just go to your drainage parts and throw your waste in it.
Makes no sense.
That's your environment. It makes no sense. But it's a culture people have imbibed over the years, and the culture of impunity. So what we're doing is a form of reorientation and enforcement. We're dangling the carrots and we're wielding the stick.
Yes.
So we're not just bringing the stick, we're doing more of the carrot. Deploying PSP operators into the system. Where we know there are issues, we tell them, Loma, you are a regulator, but you have trucks, go intervene. Mop up. So we're doing this, and we're trying to make them realize that this is your environment, you must keep it clean.
Talking about that, let me come, because I know Tokunbo mentioned something very important. I think it was it last week when we were talking about this thing, about how things used to be doing fashion last time, or how we can actually separate from home. They tried it, where they were able to separate waste from the house, but nobody is doing that anymore. So how do we
Morayo, you know why?
Yeah.
Waste management is a culture. You go to England, you have a blue, you have a black, you have a green. You know what the tree signifies. You know what to put in this bottle, spoons, and one your regular waste in your nylon, and the other one is for your paper waste. It's a culture they built over the years. And that's where we're saying, our next phase of advocacy, once we engage the companies, let us start building that culture for our people. Let us start reorientating them. It even goes beyond the waste. It goes to the way we handle the environment. Somebody wakes up, right, there's a canal behind my house. I want to start filling that canal to have it. That is a culture we've come to see people deploy. And we are saying, as a government, we won't fold our hands and let this impunity continue. So it's something we have to build on, and that advocacy will not stop. That's why I'm saying Styrofoam enforcement will not start immediately, but it will start next month. But whilst we're doing that, the engagement for the market women, associations, CDA, CDCs, so we don't hurt them too badly.
While we were laughing just now, I remembered I've always come here to call out the people on the Oshodi Expressway and the Badagry Expressway, because when I drive in the morning, you will see somebody in Jalabia, meaning that I'm just assuming by default that you just finished praying. Carry a bag and stand on the road and be pouring it. And then one night, my rice truck came late, and I went out at 12 midnight. I saw Loma, 12 a.m. Packing. So once they finish cleaning up, you go in the morning again, you pour. You know, so that part of the enforcement should be immediate, and it should be as early as that 6 o'clock that they are pouring, because they assume. I've never seen anybody being arrested, sadly. Since I have been driving.
We've convicted over 200 in the past 4 months. We've convicted.
That are on that. We've
convicted for these infractions, waste infractions.
Okay, let me, comment here from, I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, but let me. He says that great initiatives, but please note that the most effective regulatory and enforcement mechanism is through the local government administration. They must buy into it, or else a state bureaucracy leading this initiative and doing it alone will find it very, very overwhelming to achieve. Even abroad, they use local governments. They are done by local governments. This was done by Segun Akabashan.
Thanks, Segun. Luckily, we're engaging the local government. Last night, as at 9:30, I had a meeting with the chair for local government, Barrister Alabi, and we agreed to have a meeting sometime next week. So we have their buy-in into all these projects. And they have also seen it's in their own interest. Those markets are in their locality. Most of the tertiary drainages are in their own terrain. We are intervening as a state because we can't fold our hands. And then we see the bigger picture.
There's a larger part we have not captured. We were talking earlier on the first topic on mindset of kids from basic school. We see the sensitization addressing adults, but young children...
Loma is in schools every day of the week now. The Loma Academy is in schools every day of the week.
Public schools or private schools? Public schools. Public schools. You see the picture of the three colors of the waste bin collectors should be in a textbook where private schools, it should be free material. Because when I tell my child, they'll be looking at me. Like,
I also think it is.
I'm the one who has all the suggestions we think was textbook. Our textbook is going to be like this big.
No, but let them do it in their civic education.
So we were talking about getting people to talk about it. We are looking for brand ambassadors. Brand ambassadors will collect money. Go to radios, TV stations, they will collect money. Everything is going to cost more money. So, but if we have, like I know that for hand washing, a brand took it up as a company and we're now doing it as their marketing advocacy. So how about we partner with, so that we're not giving you what will cost you money, so that I'm actually giving you the money. So if you are able to get people that produce plastics that would be able to put, like I don't want to mention a brand name, but we used to have brands that were advertising that time. Like we had, let me use Bako Supersac. Now, we had Bako. If Bako is saying, I have this biodegradable nylon that you cannot be using for food, and Bako is not the one sponsoring adverts on TV, in schools, everywhere, it's not costing us to spend taxpayers' money to be doing sensitization, but we're partnered, they get that opportunity. So
most companies are already having conversations with us. And it's for their own ESG too. So it's not because they love us, but because they know that they have to do it. There's a tax rebate on it globally. So it's an option they are exploring, and we are available to have that conversation with them.
Okay, we have to wrap up now. So what should we be looking at? Since you told us that this thing will happen in the next 6 months, give us an idea so we can prepare our minds. Now we come on tomorrow morning.
we even stop buying them now before that time, yeah.
Stop clinical. Let us start giving us an idea what the future is so that we can start preparing our mind.
Thanks, Morayo. Styrofoam ban takes effect. We have 2 weeks to go.
Okay.
We start full enforcement. But in between the enforcement and the end of the year, the advocacy will continue. So we can keep engaging them at the local level, the world, and all our strata of people. But beyond that, the other single-use plastics that are biodegradable, we're not going to ban them immediately.
Example?
We allow them. They are cups, they are even nylon, cutleries, plastics that you can refill. We allow them. Now, we also start giving them options to say, these are the options you can follow. Give them technical assistance. But by and large, we want Lagosians to see this in the interest of the bigger picture. Not in the interest of that businessman that wants to make profit. Not in the interest of that young man that feels, I just like to eat with styrofoam plastics. The bigger picture is our aquatic life is in danger. Our environment is degraded daily. And then the health of our citizens is so much more at stake.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
It was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for always enlightening us on this.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.